So darkness is concentration for up to 10 minutes. So she is holding concentration on that. She is running through her head of, okay, first goal accomplished. It's away from the house. It's away from the combat. Great. Now what? And so I think she goes in her head back to a moment when she was a student where people with vision impairment have sometimes trouble falling asleep because of the circadian rhythm. They can't see sunlight. And so she, at one point, went on a quest for the most esoteric lullaby ever. And with the help of a librarian, found a draconic lullaby that supposedly even chromatics sing to their eggs. And so Charlotte is going to start. She's not a good singer. She's not a bard. She knows bards. She's not a bard, but she's going to start reciting the lyrics to the draconic lullaby that she knows in some attempt to get through to this creature.
And as the dragon continues away from the battlefield, give me a very quick perception check. Although the thing that I'm describing will become obvious fairly quickly, this will determine how early you notice. That looks like a 22 to me. So as you are flying out, you kind of intuitively realize, first off, that the vines which you're clinging to are tightening. And the further away you get from the battlefield, the more they tighten. And you do, with a 22, figure this out with enough time to at least figure out a plan. You are able to tell that it seems like before too very long, this dragon is not going to be able to fly anymore.
Okay, so calming herself with the lullaby a bit, she will call out loudly in Draconic to this creature. Stop flying. Like, hover, you don't have to land, but stop going forward. The vines are getting tighter on you.
And he will accept a persuasion check. This is going to be a pretty high difficulty.
Did you get bonuses for doing it in Draconic?
I will go ahead and give you advantage for doing it in Draconic, so roll that one more time.
Okay, come on.
Hell yeah! Okay. So with a 24, we will go ahead and say that, can adult dragons hover?
I think they can at least keep pace of where they are.
I've been reading a lot of, dragon books, and I don't know what D&D dragons can do.
So I would argue blue dragons more than any other dragon could, because this dragon is also one with this storm that we are in.
Here's what I'm going to do. In Draconic, it will yell out, "Hang on!" and will begin to descend in a more controlled manner than he would have if you hadn't pointed out that the vines were tightening. I am going to go ahead and get a dexterity save from you as the dragon sort of crashes through the tree cover and is going to land on its feet, not on its head, so that's a bonus.
Yep. Ooh.
That's a 10.
I mean, do I hold on or no?
So when the dragon hits, it hits feet first and skids into a couple of trees, takes out a couple of young trees, and yeah, you are flung off the dragon, and you tumble and tumble and tumble, and end up resting sort of upside down against a tree trunk, very dizzy, probably bruised, but not entirely worse for wear.
I still have a lot of ward and temp HP. She's gonna spit out whatever dirt got in her mouth, and she's gonna call it in Draconic again. So I don't know about you, but tonight's been very weird. I would love to know your name. It is an honor that I would love. I've never met a dragon as big and as powerful as you. I don't know if you saw the other dragon that was back there. You're in another class.
He will, first off, you hear sort of a rustling and struggling, and it feels very much, it sounds very much to you like something large is struggling against bonds.
she's going to, as soon as she can get a bearing on what direction the dragon is, she's going to cautiously, feeling her way, move in that direction towards the dragon.
Okay. And as you move towards the dragon, he will sort of, he's breathing hard, and he will say, and he'll emit a name that you can pick out a few syllables of Draconic in there, but it sounds more like an extended clearing of the throat than a name.
Like he's having trouble speaking, or like
no, like his name is just very complicated. But they call me Thunder.
Thunder.
For reasons. Please, kill me before he comes back. He will have noticed. He is coming back. You must kill me before he finds me.
Charlotte, taking in all this info, noticing that the vines were getting tighter, remembers the stories that her friends have told her about the weird vines that infected people beneath in the Sunless Citadel, and she puts it together that this might be connected, and she goes, I don't know if I'm powerful enough to kill you, but there's still a storm above us. You still command it, don't you? Can't you make your way up there and just lightning all that off of you?
And you hear him shift a little bit, and you get the feeling of being regarded very closely. And he says, you leapt to my back, and you are unable to see. What manner of creature are you?
My name is Charlotte, and I'm a human. If that's what you're asking.
I'm afraid I cannot move. He will find me soon. If you cannot end me, you should leave.
I'm not afraid of any druid. And she starts, she is going to do Cloud of Daggers and just start grinding into, she can't really think of what would be the most, like, painless spot to start just grinding into this too. So I think she's going to go for the back of the neck for the quicker kill. Like, when she gets to the dragon, touches it, can, like, figure, okay, your head's there. Cloud of Daggers, and just start.
Cloud of Daggers does how much damage in a round?
4d4.
4d4. Okay. Here's what we're going to do.
And there's no save against it. It doesn't care about AC. It's automatic damage.
Yes. The only question is how long. Yeah?
Yeah.
How long does it take? I will say that you will have at least minutes until anyone else arrives. You are, after all, underneath the cover of trees in a sort of stormy night. And though Meepo and Calcrix are above looking for you, I will say that you will have some time. So since that's the only variable, I will say that if Charlotte can stomach it, yes, you can very slowly decapitate this dragon with the Cloud of Daggers. It is not a glorious death. It is not a merciful death, but it is a death.
I'm just looking through her spells of, like, that's the most consistent damage she could do over a long period of time. It's just Cloud of Daggering this guy.
And when the deed is done, what does Charlotte do?
I think there's a moment when the head falls and the body slumps, that she's just going to be standing there listening. Is the storm still going around them?
It is still ongoing, yes. It is no longer building. It seems to be on the wane, as you understand such things. but it is still present, yes.
She's going to feel along the body. Are the vines still moving?
The vines are continuing to tighten, except it feels more like... Do you have medicine? Make a medicine check. Make a medicine check. We haven't seen one of those in a while.
I mean, yeah, hers isn't great.
Okay, so it's clenching, but you're not sure why.
Okay. Because she doesn't know why, and she can't hear anybody else around them, she's going to start trying. She doesn't have it prepared, but she's a wizard, so she's going to start trying to ritually do identify on these vines.
Okay. I'll allow it. I'm going to pull up the identify spell really quick because it's one of those ones that, although it's incredibly useful, often doesn't get a lot of play. So let's see.
So yeah, identify. She's just choosing an object. So she learns its properties, how to use it, whether it requires attunement, and how many charges it has. Also, whether any spells are affecting it and what they are, or if it was created by a spell, she learns what the spell is.
Gotcha. So let's go from top to bottom. First off, quick question. Has Charlotte ever talked with Victoire about the Blight? I don't know if you ever had the opportunity to do so.
Charlotte and Victoire have not been in the same place.
Have never been in the same place. Okay.
Nope.
So you are able to identify the magic around this, and it is terrifying. It's very druidic, obviously. You pick that up right away. And there is something within this vine, and how it's used is that it does two things. One, as you saw, it can be used to control the actions of another, and also anything that has these blight vines on it are being sapped of energy, and the spell that created them is part of a much larger magical ritual. And I would like you to go ahead and make an Arcana check to see how far this information goes for you. A 20.
Dirty 20.
Okay. I will say.
And also she she does know the spell Druidcraft. It's one of the secrets she got from being a warlock, so she does know a little bit about druidic magic.
So this blight, you are able to intuit that it's not really a blight at all. It's more symbiotic than it is parasitic, except in the case of something that is obviously unwilling. But when it comes to the blight on the trees that I'm sure you've seen is still around, it doesn't really hurt the trees. What it's doing is it's directing magical energies somewhere. And you think about what's going on here, and you realize that with more and more energy coming in, they are going to be able to create larger and larger plant monsters, as well as control larger and larger creatures.
It's a conduit, but it's not the source.
Correct. And you are also pretty sure that these energies are being utilized very heavily tonight. Like, you can sense the flow of energy within this, and it is siphoning energy from the dying or from the dead dragon rather quickly and sending it away. Does it say who cast it? What else do you get?
No, that's it. But she knows the spell. She knows what particular spell made these vines. Even if she doesn't know the giant overarching ritual, she now knows about that spell.
Yes. And you get the idea that this could become very dangerous very fast. This is essentially an exponential growth, because as the blight gets bigger, it directs more energy, and as it gains more energy, it's able to spread more quickly. So you feel like this is an engine that is still revving up.
They're establishing a network. Fuck. Unfortunately, Charlotte has no fucking idea where she is.
So after a few minutes,
Yes, Slayer.
You go ahead and you cast your identify. You sort of understand what's going on, and after a few minutes, as you're sort of listening around, trying to figure out where you're at, trying to figure out even cardinal directions, the earth begins to shudder, and you hear like stone grinding on stone as an earth elemental rises up out of the ground near the dragon.
As I hear the rumbling, she is going to cast protection from evil and good on herself, which gives her protection against elementals and undead.
That's entirely fair.
And that also buffs her ward again.
When the elemental has completed, like, coming up out of the ground, the sound of rock sort of chafing against rock will dissolve and be replaced with the sort of whisper of cloth on cloth.
How close?
We'll say, how far are you from the dragon?
She's still sitting next to it. She hasn't moved.
So fairly close. Say near the head of the dragon is where this person is. Okay. And he looks around, and he will. You're not trying to hide or anything, yeah?
Nah.
Okay.
She'll stand up.
He will take a long look at the dragon, and he'll say, "What a waste."
I agree, you are. I'm assuming you're the fuck that flew in on this person you misused.
Of course. I am being very rude. I was already just grieving my loss. Yes, I was once called Belak the Outcast. These days, most simply call me Outcast, a moniker which I bear with pride.
You sound good for a pile of ashes.
Yes, I don't feel particularly well, thank you for asking.
I could take care of that, like how I helped him.
Why would you free this creature?
I've got a thing about deals and bondage and servitude, and it really fucking sucks when you didn't choose it.
You are aware that chromatic dragons are creatures of evil and chaos. They delight in destruction. This creature, had he been free, would have destroyed you without a thought. Why would you show such a being mercy?
He was chromatic?
The lightning gives it away. Do not play dumb. I know you are very, very intelligent.
She takes a few steps towards him. Does he move, or does he allow her to walk up to him?
He allows her to approach, yes.
Cool. She's going to try to grapple him to the ground.
Sure. Let's make an athletics check with disadvantage. He still has foresight up.
Yep, that's fine.
And I will make the same with advantage because foresight is still up. Although that's not a save, so maybe I don't.
No, it is a check. He does have advantage at it.
Got it.
Go to bed, Lionar.
Night, Lionar.
Okay, let's see. With advantage. Yeah.
Oof, that was almost bad.
So he'll just kind of lean back as you take your swipe. And he'll say, "I'm actually glad we get to have this little chat. What happened to the bard?"
Which one?
I don't believe I ever got his name. The bard with the sunken face.
Could you describe his voice? I haven't seen many people's faces.
The one with the lute. That also describes all bards.
Yeah.
The very heavy lute?
The one that, like, the hit thing. Yeah, no. That, yes, that bard? What?
He looked much more well the last time I saw him. He looks like one that's been touched by the night caller.
I will tell you what happened to that bard. If you tell me who cast that nifty spell on you.
That is a fair bargain. This is an effort of many. It is of my design, but I am very proud to say it took a great deal of genius, if I say so myself. Much of the magical power comes from continuous ritual casting by many who think the way I do, who believe that the world must be saved.
I asked for a name. If it's not a person's name, give me the order or the collective.
I don't believe you did. You said who, you did not specify a name. There are many involved, but I would be the one who is the most responsible for this spell.
Fair enough. The bard died and he got better.
When you see him next, please send him my regards and let him know that I have a small idea of how he feels.
Buddy, I don't think you're understanding. I'm not ever going to see him. Do you not? Hey. And then she casts Dispel on him.
Throw it.
Gonna try to, okay, it has to be a d20 check. She's gonna cast Dispel at its normal level.
It's your spell check, and so it should.
It's a DC 19.
Yes.
It shouldn't be a disadvantage.
It's not a disadvantage, no.
And it's +3 because it's her spell casting modifier.
You got this.
Fuck him up.
Oh, so very, very close.
Can I use my inspiration?
You still have one, yeah?
Yep.
Then yes, you can.
Come on. Oh, so close.
Unfortunately, the foresight remains. It seems my business is complete here. What do you know? What do you know of the spell plague?
What does she know of the spell plague? Myself, Olivia Gale, does not know much about the spell plague.
There was a magical apocalypse, as best we can tell. There was a time when magic was so commonplace in Faerun that you could catch a floating tram from one city to another. But with that amount of magic, the prime material plane is like a sponge for magic. And when it becomes overfull, it begins to rupture. It will happen again if humans, people, continue to do what they do. I have heard some small tale of what the Forge of Fury might be capable of, and that will only accelerate the process. I am reclaiming the world so that it is not destroyed again by petty, small-minded arcanists. Everyone always wants everything more quickly, more conveniently, more easily, and they are destroying the prime material plane again. Surely you must see, you who can see, you can see the waves of power. You must see that we must stop this progress of magical technology before it consumes the planet again.
this warning of doom and concern for the planet would come off a lot better if you weren't a genocidal maniac.
I do what must be done, and I suppose it was too much for me to hope. But I would ask that you consider, look into the spell plague and what caused it. Look around you and ask yourself if a few dead are not worth saving the world.
I can think of one dead that would probably save the world, and she's going to do sword burst on it.
Yep. This
save.
Is a deck save?
Yeah.
Made an advantage because he has foresight.
Because he has bullshit.
DC 15.
Fuck him up.
He'll get a 12. So he'll take some damage, yeah?
Yeah. He gets just sliced across the chest with these like phantom blades that pop out of her and then disappear.
He kind of looks down. You hear him dusting off his robe. Message received. And you hear him walk towards one of the trees.
Oh, I'm gonna try to grapple him again if I can.
Yep, he's gonna. I'll give you one. I'll give you one attempt to grab him before he escapes with tree walk.
Yep.
With disadvantage, please.
Disadvantage? Okay. Why a disadvantage?
Because of foresight.
I'm not making an attack on him.
Yes. Oh, that's true. He gets advantage. You don't. Okay, so you managed to grab. You managed to grab his robes. He doesn't smell great. He smells like earth and like fungal roots. And again, Charlotte can't see, but she can feel in her hands. He is very skinny and very wiry. Not at all like the Belak that was described. Now, maybe they were exaggerating, but the Belak that was described to you by the people who were at the Sunless Citadel was swole, and this guy is not. He is spindly, and you managed to grab onto him.
Grab onto him, pull him in close, and I just say, I probably can't stop you here, but this is from Thunder, and she lightning bolts through him.
I love it. Roll the damage. I am going to auto-fail the save. I think that is cinematic enough that I would love to see this damage. So you put your hand right on his chest. You fire the lightning bolt. He flies back into the tree, like slams into the tree with like an audible... You can't tell if the cracking is the bark or his bones, and then he's gone.
Where the fuck am I?
And after another maybe 20 minutes or so, either Meepo will make his way back down because he will have found you, or because the dragon was trailing a large stream of blood the whole way, it is very easy for, especially with a druid of their own to help track, it is very easy to find your trail. It just takes time, yeah?
Especially the big, like, swath of trees that we knocked down when we landed.
Yes. So we will say...
It's hard to see those from the ground, though.
Yeah, we will say that after a little while longer, some unknown amount of time, the other characters meet up with you, probably minus Hyacinth, and are able to bring you back to the house. Now, my intention here was to stick to the plan of moving on to the player characters after a quick break.
Yep.
I would like to know, is there anything else that anyone else would want to do or say or whatever before we move on from this particular group of characters?
Can I do like something stupid here?
I love it when you do stupid things. Absolutely, yes.
Okay, this is just a thing that I thought about as the person that is also the voice for the patron. That when, like, during that, 2 to 3 minutes that Charlotte was just like fucking cutting a dragon's head off slowly, there was definitely probably like the very low laughter, just like that's just like echoing around in her head. I want to say that there's probably a good chance that at some point in time when Charlotte wasn't thinking about it, that she might have started also laughing about it.
Yeah, there was a grin on her face for anyone that was trying to see it.
Yeah, but there was definitely like and then that was probably just like echoing for a bit there as Charlotte's eyes got brighter and brighter and brighter. So enjoy that. You probably have blood splatter on you. That's fun.
Oh yeah, viscera everywhere.
Totally enjoy that. Meanwhile, back in the Feywild, Laura's getting dressed down by the same page and be like, look at this other perfectly good warlock. You're not even worth shit.
You couldn't cut one bitch once.
You couldn't hit a fucking like non-moving shit, and I have a perfect. It's like grandma's yelling at me, y'all.
Anything else?
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume that there would be a very quick, there would be an extended Belak conversation.
Oh yeah, no, there's going to be like collect samples of the vines, collect samples of the dragon, talking magic and Belak and whatever shit, like doing the debriefing.
Well, I mean, you basically confirmed it for Claire.
The outcast is alive.
What a dick.
So yeah, at some point, yeah, Pyre will be like,
I heard he was killed.
Oh, they gossip about it for days.
And we can sort of hand wave the results of that for now. And we can also at some point, because the group is aware that Victoire has also been running experiments on this through a more scientific lens. So between the two of you, you could probably figure something out, especially if you add Calder's expertise into the mix. Like, you think you have all the pieces now?
Yeah.
You just need to put them together.
Yeah.
And with that, we're going to go ahead and take our 10-minute break. And do stick around if you are around, because I have a brand new art reel to show during the break. It's going to be awesome. It's like a full 9.5 minutes long. It's going to take up the whole break. It's going to be amazing. So do stick around. It is currently 8:30. What timing? We will be back at 8:40. Thank you very much for watching so far.
Bye.